What is that figure on front of the boat?
Which one? This one, the cardinal?
No, the one who is punching the snake.
That's a donkey. Because the donkey is known to step on snakes, your karmic waves, and carry you safely across the waters. I'll be jumping deep into this. Okay, welcome to Isis in the Bible Summer Gathering, week number 9, delivery. The question today is, what do you know about delivery? We had a great discussion. I learned quite a bit, so I thank you everybody for this, and I'll be putting the comments in when I edit the video. What if the liver is more than an organ and part of a living story of receiving, transforming, regenerating, and releasing? Today we'll follow an unexpected trail through ancient wisdom, language, nature, and the body, carried across the waters, with little guidance along the way. Perhaps healing begins when we recognize what we are being asked to receive, change, and deliver. Glad you could gather today. So what is the liver? We usually think of a liver as a physical processing center, receives and processes what enters the body, transforms nutrients and stores what may be needed later, helps cleanse and remove what no longer serves, produces substances essential to digestion in the blood, and remarkably, it also regenerates by itself. We had that discussion. But the ancients saw something more. What if the liver was also a place of transformation, regeneration, where what is received becomes something new? Receive, transform, regenerate, release. The key here is receive is a mirror of accepting guidance. So remember that. What we receive is all guidance. And think about it. We only think of what we're letting in our mouth as what we're receiving and what we could pollute the liver with. No, it's everything, every emotion, every image, all of it, and every organ's affected by it. So the ancient body map, medical astrology, we're going to go through and show you that we got quite the big clues. Medical astrology places the upper liver and spleen in Cancer, the heart in Leo, and the lower liver in Virgo, and actually in Corvus, the raven. So the liver shows up on both sides of the heart. That immediately suggests a journey or process, something received, brought through the heart, and then carried onward into transformation and release. The major question we pose today is, are you trusting your guidance? So as you can see, this is the upper left, okay, side, your spleen, your stomach. The heart is between the two, and then there's this part of the bladder. So this is where Cancer, Leo, and then Virgo, and then more importantly also Corvus, which is in the very close to underneath the constellation of Virgo. So this is what it represents. So we're going to be talking about what stars in here are actually 100% these organs, which is beautiful. So let's jump into the constellation Cancer. Notice something interesting happens. In the body map, Cancer governs the breast and chest externally, while internally we find the stomach, digestive organs, and upper liver, and the spleen. This is the key. So the entire region speaks naturally of receiving food, nourishment, protection, and what enters the body. And right here in Cancer, we find the star cluster Praesepe. Its traditional name means the manger or crib. And we've been working with that imagery in Astrology for some time. So suddenly we have breast, nourishment, digestion, upper liver, spleen, and a manger all gathered in the same region. I don't want to tell you what that means yet. I just want you to notice the pattern. A manger is something that is received, held, and nourished. Any guidance you're getting, you got to hold it, nourish it, rechange it. And before the liver can transform anything, something has to arrive. Before anything can be transformed, it must be received. We have to trust guidance is everything we observe. Remember, Praesepe is the beehive cluster. It is the Canary Islands when the stars map the lands. It also represents earthquake clusters, shaking you to awaken. So it really is all beautiful. And don't forget, does not a mother give baby breast milk? The baby receives absolute nourishment. It receives love. It receives everything that it needs. That's in Cancer. So now this is where our trail took a wonderful turn. We had just encountered star cluster Praesepe, the manger in Cancer, where our medical map also places the upper liver and spleen. But Plato, writing in the Timaeus, independently describes the bodily region between the diaphragm and the navel as a kind of manger for the food of the body. And immediately after describing the manger, Plato returns to the liver. He says it was made smooth and bright so that thought could impress images upon it, almost like a mirror receiving and returning images. So again, think about that. Emoto's waters, the scarring that we brought up, scarred liver, impress images upon it, almost like a mirror receiving and returning images. So he even connects the liver with dreams and divination. And we talked about a fire in the heart when we're not thinking beautiful, loving thoughts. And then we just said it, the heart is between the upper and lower liver. So right beside the liver, he places the spleen, whose purpose in his account is to keep the liver bright and pure, essentially cleaning the mirror when impurities gather around it. So now look at what he has gathered in one little part of our investigation. Manger, nourishment, liver, reflection, spleen, cleansing. We didn't begin by trying to connect those ideas. They met with each other along the trail. Remember, your outside world mirrors the health of your body. So trusting guidance from a cat who showed up for star cluster Praesepe is the spleen. We'll talk about how the mirror of guidance fits with all this. It's not just learning from books. It's getting guidance from the animals aligned with the stars and then confirmed with older texts. One of the prominent stars here is star Acubens, traditionally associated with the southern claw of Cancer. In astronomy, we preserved its essence simply as the southern claw to grip the truth. And remember, with our medical body map already told us Cancer contains the stomach, digestive organs, upper liver, and spleen. This starting point is from ancient consensus. So star cluster Praesepe is presently our spleen marker. Acubens is our working marker for the upper liver. They sit together within the same Cancer landscape, just as the liver and spleen sit together within this anatomical region. And there is an interesting symbol fit. The spleen helps maintain and clear, while the liver receives, holds, and stores and transforms. So star Acubens, the claw, the grip, you can actually feel this grip on your upper left side of the body. So think about that. If we're nurturing others, the breast, the chest, the mother, the milk, that's going to be the upper left. And then the lower right is going to be what? We'll talk about it. So now we can pull back from the individual stars and look again at the larger body map. Cancer gives us the upper liver and spleen. Then immediately comes Leo, the heart, right in the middle of it. After Leo comes Virgo, where the lower liver and intestines appear. So the liver is not presented as one isolated point. It appears on both sides of the heart. And that made us wonder whether the sequence itself is trying to tell us something. Cancer receives, it nourishes through the breasts, it holds. Remember, constellation Cancer represents the breasts, mother's milk, to nourish the baby, but it does not end there. The nurturing continues from the stars to the constellation Cancer. Then everything crosses the heart, the center. And on the other side, constellation Virgo is associated with digestion, sorting, harvest, waste, and eventual release. So symbolically, we can read the movement as we receive, pass it through the heart, transform, and release it. And perhaps that is a deeper meaning of the liver in this story. It isn't merely holding something, it is participating in the process by which what enters us becomes something different before it is eventually delivered. What are we allowing through the heart? Are you accepting everything as guidance? If somebody's reaching out of nowhere and needs something from you, they're still your child. That can affect the liver. So every child, everybody that comes into your life, and I know we think that some people that come into life, they're not our children, but they are, no matter what. They don't have to come from your womb to be your child. They'll find their way to you. So I get people from all over the world asking for help, and I help them. It's probably why my liver is in the shape that it's in, because I didn't always help everybody. Probably past life stuff too. So I'm not going to go through all this, just a couple of highlighted points. Mother Nature always teaches us with images. We don't necessarily need books when we go through a phoenix rising, but it is a beautiful confirmation of knowing who was the truthful writers. Here's all the ancient consensus that points to the exact same thing we are showing you thus far. And next we shall show you how Mother Nature shows up to give you the same message in the infinite, never-changing language of the animals. Remember, anima means soul. The animals are our angels. They're mirrored in the stars. So if anybody wants to go through these, I'll just scan through them. If anybody wants to read these online after, I'm only going to go through a couple of them, but here's all the proof of what everybody has been saying about what we're sharing with you about which stars is what organ. But I want to touch on a couple. The ancient Greek Prometheus tradition, we talked about that, preserving a very old symbolic association between liver and regeneration. The story of Prometheus. Crow's always eating liver, and it's always regenerating, right? And we're going to show you algarab is the liver. We'll show you that. And then this last one, Latin iacurficatum, fig-fed liver, eventually produced the Roman words fegato, foi, higado, preserving the ancient association between the liver and figs in language. So eat your figs, folks. Your figs are good for you. Everybody wants to eat chicken's liver. What does the chickens eat? They eat figs. So don't eat the chicken liver if you need liver. Go eat the figs. And it's so now you're being kind-hearted for the chicken, right? All right. So this marker came through us again through Mother Nature. We already knew from the medical body map that Virgo, the sixth house, contains the intestines and lower liver. And again, with this region, we have Corvus, the raven, and Algarab, the star Algarab, which in our software, Astrology, identifies with the raven or crow, especially its right wing. The whole day on last Sunday was so inspirational. Okay? So I had Michelle do Reiki on me, and immediately she went right to my right lower side, and she tapping on it. She says, "You need to get your liver checked." So she knew. So right at that exact moment when she's doing my chart, the moon, my wings. So this is happening in the sky. The wings, the moon was exactly on Algarab, exactly when she told me. We already knew that this in Virgo, but now this confirms, and with ancient writings, that Algarab is the star that represents the lower right liver. And then a friend went to the hospital with liver infection. So at that moment that he called me, look at the moon was on Algarab, and he has part of fortune, his fortune in Algarab, and that's the sixth house, folks. The sixth house is Virgo. This is exactly where Corvus is. So Mother Nature is showing us all day long which star represents which body organ. So then we get to go and research and find out, hey, what do I got to change in my life? It's a mirror. The heart. Where is my thought process? Where's my nurturing? That whole aspect of the whole Cancer, Heart, Leo, and Virgo, Corvus, Raven, story of Prometheus. It's all there. So the map must follow Mother Nature, not the other way around. That gives us this slide a very strong ending and naturally leads us to the next larger question. Why didn't ancient peoples treat the liver itself as a mapped landscape? Of course they did. They always did. So I want to show you the stars and how they map out for your future reference and how this matches the story we're about to show you. These are not myths. They're actual experiences mapped out in the star and played out right in front of your eyes when you pay attention. That is the catch-22 with the liver. We need to observe what we are being shown. You're always being guided back to center, the perfection path that we call God. Be godlike. Be that point in the middle, right? The point in the middle where the heart's at. The more we walk that middle path in that beautiful spiritual state, all our organs start playing in beautiful music, don't they? So in the house, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, here is Precipe, the beehive cluster. Here is Acubens, okay, the one that represents the upper left liver, and in the lower right river where Corvus is in Virgo. So why am I showing you this? Because I want to just make sure that you see that this is exactly aligned with Precipe, Acubens, Algorab. And why I'm showing you this is because I also want you to see that there is the constellation of Hydra, which is one of the furthest constellations out there, which has gone too far. And that represents the karmic waters, also the story of Argonavis, because Argonavis keeps going this way. So what we're trying to show you is that these all connect. Our spiritual waters, our experiences before, our observations, our guidance is all related to this, Cancer, Leo, and Corvus. So before I jump into this Egyptian scene on the walls, in the ancient Greco-Roman star lore preserved by Hyginus, Liber and Dionysus wander in a state of disorder and seeks guidance at the oracle of Dodona. Sounds like da donna, the mother, donna, Madonna. His path is blocked by a wide swamp he cannot cross alone. Now, if you think about that swamp as karmic waters, two donkeys appear at the threshold, and one carries him safely across the waters. Remember, donkeys will step on snakes, which is also karma. When he reaches the oracle, his clarity is restored. Right, he's trusting guidance, and the donkey protected him, brought him across. And in gratitude, he places the donkeys amongst the stars. Another version preserved by Hyginus, he even grants the donkey a human voice. Of course, because we are all the animals. We embody as them, a symbolic gift of recognition. Astronomically, these donkeys correspond to Asellus Borealis and Asellus Australis. They're on both sides of flanking Precipe, the beehive cluster, the manger. The ancient celestial picture places the two asses beside their manger. Isn't there donkeys in the manger scene? I think so. Forming a beautiful tableau of nourishment, guiding and safe passage. The recurring helper animal, anima, soul guide motif suggests a familiar pattern. Disorder, boundary, guidance, crossing, restoration. In Matthew's gospel, Jesus approaches Jerusalem with a donkey and her colt. It is not the same narrative as Dionysus crossing the swamp, yet metaphysically it echoes a very similar archetype. A figure approaching a threshold of transformation accompanied by humble animals of grounding and passage. Dionysus is carried across the waters toward restoration. Jesus is carried across toward the final unfolding of his earthly journey. The outer stories differ while the symbolic movement echoes humility, trust, guidance, and fulfillment. The guidance we are drawing from the story, the swamp becomes the karmic waters, memory, emotion, and consequence that cannot simply be avoided. The donkey becomes a steady guide, courageous before the serpent. It carries consciousness through what it cannot cross alone. A beautiful image of the forgiveness process. Precipe, the manger, nourishes the journey. The pattern becomes disorder. Guidance, trust, crossing, restored with clarity. And that mirrors the body map we've been uncovering. The spleen, the upper liver, across the heart, the lower liver. What is received is nourished, carried, transformed, and finally delivered. We're one absolutely with all these animals. The animals are conscious. They are you. Don't think the animals are not you, because we reincarnate as them. So there's similar stories. The one we talked about, the Egyptian heavenly cow, the biblical donkey and a colt that we just talked about, and Indian Vahana crossing. Vahana literally means that which carries. Hindu deities are paired with animal vehicles such as Ganesha's mouse, Shiva's bull, and Kartikeya's peacock. The animal often embodies qualities of forces associated with the journey of its riders. Of course we are. We're carrying ourselves. They are you. The animals are you. Okay, so I felt this image is an absolute mirror of the body story we are already uncovering. The journey begins in Cancer, the place of waters, nourishment, spleen, and upper liver. Beneath the boat-like path we see along the serpent current, which we can read as Hydra, the karmic waters. Do you see the karmic waters? There's Hydra, the karmic waters. I'll go through this in a second. Listen to these words. So Hydra is the karmic waters, the emotional field, the movement that must be crossed. At the front of the donkey, and that matters because donkeys are known for their courage and steadiness, even in the presence of snakes or karmic waters. So the donkeys become an image of trust and guidance, the part that leads the crossing. From there, the journey moves across the heart. What is carried must be centered, weighed and purified, and then onward toward Virgo side, where transformation, digestion, and release complete the process. So we do these, not only digest the food, we got to digest our images and repaint, like we talked about, the forgiveness process. So this is not only a mythic crossing, it mirrors an anatomical and spiritual passage. So this image is a story of exactly what you will see play out in Mother Nature's language and guidance. It's not a story. The animals, the anima, they are the angels. They are your relatives guiding you. Mother Nature's images are the only language that's eternal. So on August the 13th, I went to bed and my spleen upper side, left side was really twisting. I had this my whole life. And I said, I'm getting up once and for all to test this. So at the exact moment, okay, this is Precipice right there, the beehive cluster, the spleen. And I was getting the twisting in my spleen. And this is the natal earth position. So this goes by the minute. A cat walked by as I opened my computer after knowing I must get up and look at this alignment. And Lilith is on the natal precipice. So at the exact moment when I saw the cat, this black cat that walked by really fast and then disappeared behind the bushes, like it completely disappeared out of the visible. In that exact moment, this is Mercury, the Akashic waters, the remembrance. This is the remembering of the waters like Emoto. This was in the sky, transiting it, not by the minute, but by the hours of that day. So I'm getting told through the memories in the waters and Lilith to know exactly which star represents the spleen. So Precipice, the beehive cluster in Cancer, is where the spleen is. A bit later, a paper fell from the window, used to block the bright street light exactly when Mary was rising in the east. Meaning, don't block your vision of guidance from Mother Nature. Open up your windows. Don't be stuck inside. And another very interesting synchronicity happened because I'm just about to cut on this meeting, and I hear my wife talk to her uncle saying that people that take opioids, they have problems with their liver. We can't mask, we can't disregard the images that we're being shown. By taking opioids, we're trying to mask the messages that we're being given, because something out in our internal world needs help. So you can see in this image, there's Sekhmet, Lilith, telling you about the snakes. You can see that you're being guided. You're trusting your guides. This is you. You're trusting your guides. Here's the donkey taming the snake, making sure that these waters, this is you redoing your images. This is the all-seeing eye that you get to see every image. This is the raven, the grackle. They do the same thing. They'll point. It's Corvus. The cardinal directions. And here's the divine feminine opening up the four royal gates from above and below. The cobras from down below, and these look like jackals from up above. So this is a whole beautiful meaning that's being shown and presented to us by Mother Nature, aligned with the stars. The ancient texts are just confirming what Mother Nature is already telling us. We have to see this whole mirror that's in front of us, that's guiding us, that the stars completely align. The medical industry is always trying to help us. But remember, don't mask what you're feeling, because there's metaphysical reasons, not just physical reasons, why you're feeling the pains, while you're trying to, you don't want to mask anything. So always ask questions. Last slide. If someone tells you there's something going on with your liver, perhaps it's also an invitation to reflect. Remember Plato's mirror and ask, what guidance am I missing? What am I receiving? What needs transforming or releasing? And remember what an extraordinary organ the liver is. Even after part of it is removed, the remaining liver can regenerate and restore much of its mass. Maybe guidance isn't always going to arrive in the form we expect. Sometimes it's a person. Sometimes it's an alignment. Sometimes it's a crow, a cardinal, or apparently, yes, even a donkey. So the question isn't whether Mother Nature is speaking. The question is, are we listening? And I'm listening because my liver's feeling it. So I'm listening to all the guidance. That's all we have for today. Thank you.